Hi. Hi, everyone. Just wanted to start a few minutes early. Give everyone a few minutes to get on in here. Hope everyone's doing well. Hi, Chaz. Hi, everyone. Hi, Lihia. Hola, Chase. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Lynette. Hi, Marie. Hi, Nicole. All right. I think ready to get started. I just wanted to give everyone some time to come on in here. Hope everyone is doing splendidly well. Let me see. Let's move this forward. So, on the group Sanse, Espiritismo, and Y la 21 División, we asked the question, said, after starting the path, how quickly do you think you should be initiated? And we did a little bit of a poll. And so I just want to give the numbers, right? 11% of people said a year, 20% said longer, 11% said not sure, and 57% said when the time is right. So, of course, the answer is when the time is right. However, I wanted to give us kind of like some frame of reference as far as how and when that might be for someone. And a lot of times, this is a question I get asked very, very often is basically, hey, I just got started on the path. When should I be initiated? Or, hey, I just got started on the path. I want to be initiated, like tomorrow. And generally speaking, okay, I think that if someone's undergoing a first level initiation, the lowest level of initiation, 3 to 6 months is more than enough to have someone be prepared if they're working consistently on preparing themselves for initiation. Hi, Harold. However, a year fits for most individuals. A year is not long enough, however, to have someone be prepared to become a priest or a priestess. So I do want to mention that for someone to be ready to undergo initiation as a priest or a priestess, a year is not long enough. A year is just touching the surface. You can, if there's many other things already in alignment, if you've already been working on the path prior. But if you're new to the path, you just got started, you just got involved, just discovered the path, a year, 6 months, 3 to 6 months is fine if you're consistently working. Hi, Lewis. If you're consistently working on your development, 3 to 6 months. Hi, Lenny. Buenas. 3 to 6 months is enough if you're working consistently on the path to undergo a first level of initiation. If you're just getting started, I would say anywhere between 3 months and a year is long enough. For most people, it's going to fall almost in that 6 months to a year time. Of course, like I said, naturally, when the time is right, okay? Hi, Tyrone. When the time is right is, of course, the best answer, but some people really are ready to be initiated. And hi, Santera, Yesenia, bendiciones. About a year gives a person enough time to develop themselves and to get enough of a grounding and a footing within the tradition. Again, if someone's been already walking on the path, they're not new to the path, they can do it in less than a year. But if someone is totally new to the path, they just discovered the spiritual path, it's going to be about at minimum 3 months, more likely 6 months to a year before they're fully ready to get initiated on the path. Okay? Hi, Mambo J. Hope you guys are having a good Monday as well. So, we had a few different types of answers here, right? And someone said basically everyone's journey is different and depending on the work you do and how serious you are. I absolutely agree with that. Some people, I know some people who didn't get baptized till 10 years later, and other people way less. And it also depends on the religion and the godparent, right? It's some people, someone else said it's very individual and the spirit should make that call. Another person remarked, I feel you should work on unlearning, and as you do, let spirit tell you when. Attend as many ceremonies and misas to help your development. I agree with that 110%. If someone else mentioned if you're meant to be on the path, I would say immediately, if with the right people. And then that's where the waiting part comes in. You have to be sure you're in the right house. Hi, Tara. I agree 100%. You have to be sure that you're in the right house. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself repeating steps that you've already done. Hi, G. You're going to find yourself repeating steps that you've already done. In a lot of, especially amongst Vodou traditions, in a lot of societies, you will need to undergo a whole nother initiation if you leave one society and try to join the new society. So it's very important that you take your time in getting to know who you're getting initiated with and attending, as what one person mentioned, hi Michelle, as many misas, ceremonies, or doing as much development work as is possible that you are able to have access to prior to concerning yourself with initiation. Hi, Mambo Sandy. It's very, very common, unfortunately, that a lot of people just discover the path and they're like, I want to be initiated. I'm ready to be initiated. I want to be initiated tomorrow. The truth is, most people are not just naturally ready to be initiated that quickly upon like starting on the path. Now, someone asked like what was the quickest time that I ever initiated someone, right? The fastest time I think I've ever initiated someone was probably 3 months. And again, they weren't initiated as a priest or a priestess. That's a big difference. So I think the fastest I've ever baptized someone, which made them a priest or priestess, was probably a bit over a year. Now, that individual had already been working and developing on the path prior to even meeting me. So, naturally, there were steps that we did not have to take. But the majority of people do not have a proper foundation or proper training in order to get initiated that quickly. Most people, haha, no, it doesn't count. You are already initiated. Most people take a few months at minimum in order to get on track and get their bearings on the path. This idea that you're going to go get initiated, you're going to get involved and get initiated tomorrow super quickly, and everything is going to go swell for you is a big lie. A huge lie. Okay? In fact, usually people who get initiated right away after just starting the journey end up having a whole shitload worth of issues and problems as a result of not having undergone proper preparation. Unfortunately, in many places, that's what's encouraged. And it's encouraged because initiation for many people, for many people who do initiations, it's a major place where they make money. However, for someone like me, okay, financially, I've yet to find any benefit to initiating anyone. And I always tell people this all the time. If I don't like you, I'm not going to initiate you. Because I need to be able to be 100% with you in order to get myself that deeply involved with you. If I don't like you, I'm not going to initiate you. Financially, for me, it doesn't make sense. Financially, I don't make a huge benefit from initiating people. It's actually, for me, when I take the time to initiate people, I usually come out at a loss financially. I can make way more money doing brujeria, and I'm very good at brujeria. So I can make way more money with way less headache doing brujeria than taking someone on as an initiate and tying myself to them. When you initiate with someone, whether or not you realize it, you're creating certain spiritual bonds and ties to each other. And you will affect each other. And Sandy, Mambo Sandy, who's here, always jokes with me, you will end up taking on certain traits and certain things that will pass on from your initiator. Okay? So, certain things will be passed on from your initiator to you. And that's something that you need to be aware of, very much so. I had a case where some individuals got initiated into a society that was really just a society in name, meaning it was not an active society. They did not do regular fetes for the spirits, they did not do regular ceremony for spirits. As a result, that person's abilities shut down. Why? Because there was no power flowing in the spiritual house. And that spiritual house, that lineage, was part of the root of connection. An initiation is very significant. You take on a lineage of other people You take on the lineage. You become a part of that family. As a part of that family, you take on certain inheritances, both positive and negative. Okay? And so for me, I'm very careful and exclusive on taking people on as initiates simply because initiation for me is not a major moneymaker. In fact, initiation for me is a major money loser. Okay? I have no interest in having tons of initiates. As people who work with me know, I want to have high quality individuals that I work with, not quantity. It is very unimpressive when you go to a temple that's only been established for 5 years and they already have 50 initiates. I always say that means that they have 50 people there who probably don't know what they're doing. I've been initiating people at this stage for 31 years. In 31 years, I do not yet have 100 initiates. That's how picky I am, number one. And someone once mentioned to me that it sounded like my house is exclusive. It is exclusive. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't want quantity, I want quality. That's how it is. Okay? If I wanted 100 people or 200 people that are low quality and don't know what they're doing running around me, I could have easily done that 30 years ago. I'm not interested in quantity. Quality is what I'm interested in. This is why, and people remark this to me all the time, and Mambo Sandy can tell you because she's been a longtime member in our temple. This is one of the few temples that does not have a revolving door, aka my initiates, once we have that relationship and connection, my initiates stay in the temple. Why? Because people progress here and people are being trained, they're learning, and they're evolving both materially as well as spiritually. Okay? In most temples, many people get initiated, and that's where it begins, and that's where it ends. No one learns anything else. In fact, many of these initiates have, and I see it all the time online, many of these initiates, American initiates, especially online, the majority of their learning seems to have come from exilikonen.com, which is the same information a non initiate could have. Okay? Just looking at the comments. So, generally speaking, if you're new to the path, if you've just kind of started the path, discovered the path, so on and so forth, I say give yourself at least 6 months in development before you take on an initiation. If where you are going is really rushing you to be initiated, they want you initiated yesterday or tomorrow, I would seriously question whether or not you're going to be doing much spiritual growth there. I would run the opposite way, to tell you the honest truth. But that's me. You can do what you want because I'm just going to give you the advice from time tested experience, but you do what you want. If you think that, you don't need that much preparation, good luck. I wish you the best. I really do. And I hope that you really don't. The likelihood is unlikely, especially if you're not from the culture. And when I say from the culture, I do not mean simply being um, Haitian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, or Cuban. I mean being from those spiritual cultures. Haitian culture is one thing, Haitian spiritual culture is another niche. Puerto Rican culture is one thing, Puerto Rican spiritual culture is another smaller niche. Dominican culture is one thing, 21 Divisions culture is another thing. So, just being from the ethnicity or from the race or however you want to call it, because I know people get really stuck on these little words, okay, is not enough. It does not authenticate you. It does not make you authentic. Doesn't make you any good at what you do. I've met way too many practitioners, but I've met thousands upon thousands of practitioners from the islands and people who are not from the islands, and I've seen great as well as crappy initiates on both ends. So simply being from that background does not mean that you're great at what you do. Unfortunately, a lot of people use their eyes to make judgment calls and find out that later on, like maybe they should have chose someone more qualified to teach them, train them, and help them. It happens all the time. It really does. Being Haitian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Cuban does not qualify you. It's not a qualification. It doesn't mean you're going to be great. It may give you certain small advantages, but it doesn't give you much. And what you have to understand is that the majority of people in these cultures don't grow up in, aren't raised around the spiritual culture. There's many Christians. There's more, I would say, Dominican Christians or Dominican Catholics than there are Dominican servants of the 21 divisions, servidores. So simply being Dominican does not qualify you. Another thing is if you're going to go be an initiate in one of these other cultures, it's important for you to learn the culture. You need to learn the culture, not you need to learn the spiritual culture as well as the rest of the culture that is around the tradition, because cultures and spiritualities influence each other very heavily. And you're going to come, especially if you're not from the culture, you're going to come from a whole different background. And so a lot of things you may not comprehend until you learn the culture. And I see this all the time. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, been there, done that. And there ends up becoming a clash because people can't let go of their American culture while entering another culture. Along those lines, I'm going to mention this, and a lot of people probably are not going to be happy about what I'm about to say, but it's the truth. A lot of these American priests or priestesses, hungans and mambos, who are claiming to provide voodoo services for people are not providing voodoo, they're providing hoodoo. They were initiated and never trained, and instead of taking the time, effort, and energy to go and learn things properly, they substitute hoodoo, which is another tradition, okay? They substitute hoodoo information for voodoo. They substitute what they know in hoodoo to fill in the blanks in what they don't know in voodoo. And it's because hoodoo information has become readily available. Has become really readily available. It's tons of information in English, okay? And so I see it all the time where they're saying, hey, we're going to do this voodoo thing for you. We're going to work with Papa Legba to open your roads. And the recipes that they're using and the work that they're doing is hoodoo. Call a spade a spade. The problem is they want to have that special title, okay, and the benefits that come with the title without doing the work to learn and train. I have a saying, and take it how you want to take it, because I really don't care. Most of my first level initiates, anyone who's the first level initiate with me, who's trained for a year or more, knows about 100 times more information than the majority of these American Hungans and Mambos. Take it how you will. I see it all the time, over and over again. 100 times more information than a lot of these American Hungans and Mambos, because they simply went to Haiti, or they went here, or they went there, they got their initiation, and they bounced. And they never trained, they never learned, they were never taught, they didn't take the effort or energy to do any of that. So most of my servidores, my bautizados, my iluminados, my hunsis know more than a great deal of Hungans and Mambos that I see out here on the web. No. The problem here is in the West, right? A lot of people's ego gets bruised at the fact that they need to learn spirituality, or that they need to learn anything. There's this big ego thing that goes on here in the West about being under someone. And all that speaks to, in the words of Anaisa, is that if you feel there's an inferior and superior, it's because you're inferior. Someone who is not inferior does not have no issue with learning from someone, with gaining what they need to gain and taking the knowledge they need to gain. Hi, Star. And you know what? I want to mention, I'm going to pick on you a little bit. I want to mention Star because I think it's really great. Now, Star is a very well known, very great hoodoo practitioner, and she knows her hoodoo inside and out. She's wrote, I don't even know, probably like 24 books on hoodoo, and so she knows that stuff inside and out. But when she came to our tradition of the 21 divisions, she really came in very clear, willing to set that aside to really learn this in a clear way, without mixing or moxing things together, without trying to substitute, without trying to go ahead and pull from one and add to the other. Instead, she really took the time to learn from scratch the way that we do things. I want to thank you, Lihia. Thank you. I agree. She says, so sad, here in DR, there are a lot of fake brujos doing bautizos to people, baptisms to people. All the time. All the time. It's crazy. It's crazy. The amount of people that I have heard or that I have witnessed that go to DR and receive a false baptism. That basically all they do is throw a few perfume on the head, throw a little soda on the head. It all happens in the course of a few hours, and then they send them home and they say, yeah, you're ready, you're good, etc., etc. That's not how these things work. Okay? In this spiritual tradition, another thing that I see a lot, especially in DR, they love to do this. Oh, once they gave you the initiation, the mysteries, the misterios are going to teach it all to you. Bullshit. Bullshit. That's straight bullshit. Oh, your misterios are going to teach you everything. Bullshit. The misterios teach you some of the things, but you have to have a physical guide. A guide in the physical world, a human guide, to teach you a lot of other things. The misterios don't teach you everything. The misterios teach you some things, and then other things you need a hungan or a mambo, a brujo or a bruja in order to teach you. They're not going to sit here and keep repeating the same information every time someone gets initiated. That's why you need a physical guide. Okay? Yeah, you absolutely have to have guidance. Another thing Mambo Sandy mentions here is yes, some people think that they train for 3 years, okay, and they know everything, and they don't, and it takes a lot of training, learning spiritual culture and the culture of the people. That's absolutely the case. That's absolutely facts, okay. A lot of people think like, oh, I trained for 2 years, I trained for 3 years, I trained for 4 years. That doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. Training and development do not always coincide in a linear fashion. You can learn something but not have been able to develop it until much later. Okay? Yeah. Someone says here, sometimes, yes, because sometimes the spirits tell me, and other times they say, go ask the Hunganer Mambo. Correct. That's absolutely correct. But again, this is an ego problem that happens, and it's very common. It's a very common ego problem that happens when you're trying to be overly concerned with how you appear to others rather than being concerned with your development. One of the worst things that you can do in your development is to distract yourself by comparing yourself to other people. One of the worst things that you can do, one of the biggest distractions and biggest wastes of time you can do, is to distract yourself in comparison to other people, trying to compete with other people, trying to catch up with other people, and in judgment of other people. A lot of people spend a lot of time in the spiritual realm judging other practitioners instead of spending that same amount of time in developing themselves. And that's why we have a bunch of crappy practitioners running around. I'm just going to call a spade a spade. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. So here's a good question. How do you make sure you find the right people to initiate and train with instead of just being brushed off? That's an excellent question, Trip. So, number one, no one who is going to take you seriously and your development seriously is going to be rushing you to initiate. They're not going to be like, initiate tomorrow. They're And when you say, well, when can I be initiated? More than likely, they're going to say, well, when you're ready. When the spirits say you're ready. They're not going to be in no rush because, again, they're not looking to make no huge money out of it. That's number one. Number two, anyone that tells you that you need to be initiated in order to learn anything is full of shit. Period. That's like me saying to you, okay, sign a contract, but don't understand any of the terms, don't understand anything of what you're signing. That's bullshit. There's lots of stuff that can be learned prior to initiation. In fact, I have certain godchildren, I don't know if they're here today, but who have trained with me for years, 2, 3, 4 years prior to even having their first initiation. There's tons of stuff to learn prior to initiation. Okay? Love you too, darling. A lot of people also, what I want to say to you is don't rush. Does initiation grant a person access to greater spiritual power? Yeah, a greater power to fuck yourself up. That's what it gives you access to. You can channel more power and you can fuck yourself up way better. It's like me giving a car to a 2 year old and being like, there you go ahead and drive. So, yeah, it gives you access to a greater spiritual power to fuck yourself up. Basically. Shit. Even sometimes when people like train, there it happens. Sometimes people fuck themselves up, and they have trained and they have developed themselves and they have done a lot of work, but shit, there's a lot to learn. And if you fall short for a minute with your ego, okay, you fuck yourself up. Okay? So lots of people have great powers here. Not I'm not talking about y'all here. I'm talking about in this spiritual community. A great power to fuck themselves up. That's why you see all these. I'm gonna get real, like just rare, okay? So you're gonna have to hang on with me today, cause like I got a little Anaisa and Gede kind of in my ear here, okay? That's why you see a lot of these people. They're sick. They're angry. They're miserable. They don't have no love in their life and they can't find none. They always broke. They stay on broke. Okay? Their checking account and their savings account works in this special way called don't never have no money. Okay? A lot of them end up sick. A lot of them are miserable. Okay? They're jealous. They're competitive against other practitioners. They spend all their time and effort in drama. Anybody who spends all their time and effort in drama, it's because your life sucks. Because my life is good, so I don't give a fuck what you're doing. Do what you want to do with your life. If your life is good and you got good power and your shit is working and you're progressing and you're developing and you're moving forward and forward and forward, you have no time. Shit, I barely have time to take care of myself. I don't even have time. I really struggle actually to get time to put these lives together because there's always something else left to do. There's always something else. Someone else who's like, Papa, do this for me. Papa, I need help with this. Papa, I need help with that. Papa, this, Papa, that. So it actually takes me a great deal of concerted effort to do lives. Okay? I definitely do not have time to sit around here and be jealous of other people, talking about other people, doing things, cutting other people down, being on the internet, posting up things about other people. I do not give a fuck. Do you, baby? My life is good. If your life sucks, I'm happy for you. If your life is great, I'm happy for you. In fact, I wish that all spiritual people could be able to live a really great life and existence because that would be the greatest testament to the work. That's why what I focus on in helping my people is to live a great life where you're happier, where you're more fulfilled, where you're achieving your goals, because that's the biggest testament to the work, right? Good apples come from good trees. Okay? So, yeah, that happens. So, like, if, here's another thing. If, okay, the person you're studying under, all they have time for is to talk drama with you, talk shit on other practitioners, um, be hateful, be jealous. They're miserable. They're miserable in their own life. They're miserable with the community. These are all signs. Run the hell away. I'm just keeping it G. I'm keeping it 100 with y'all. Hear it if you have ears to hear. See it if you have eyes to see. If not, best of luck, okay? Why? Because it's just a testament to a lack of power. And the initiation, like I said, it gives you access to a great amount of spiritual power, but if you don't have the knowledge on how to use it properly, now all you have is a great amount of power to come and fuck you up. If you don't know how to drive the car, a car is a wonderful tool. But if you don't know how to drive, right, you're putting yourself at great risk for lots of dangerous accidents, a lot of things. You're putting your life at risk. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. These traditions are very much about life. And to be about life means you're also about death. Last point here, I don't like to hold you guys forever, is if you start on the path, good evening. If you start on the path, don't be in a rush to start doing spiritual work for other people. That's a huge one. It's a huge one. A lot of people are very much in a rush that they want to go and I'm called to spiritually help other people. I want to help other people. I'm meant to help other people. Okay? Help yourself first. Because once you start helping other people, you are not going to have very much time to help yourself. And no one who you will be helping, and I was told this by an old mambo, gracias a la misericordia to her, okay? No one who will you be helping will give a damn about what you're dealing with or what you're going through or take a step back in order for you to spend the time you need to help yourself. Everyone's always in a rush to help other people, mainly because you want to use that as a distraction to not have to focus on the issues that you need to deal with. It's easy to distract yourself with other people to help other people instead of dealing with the issues that you have in your house on your own, in your own time, in your own life. Okay? Oh, it'll be nice to meet you too, Obakoso. Yeah. So a lot of times people are not going to be concerned. And this is what I say to people, okay? Because a lot of people think like, oh, you're going to start spiritually helping people and oh my god, I don't know what kind of lifestyle you think you want to live baby, but it ain't that, okay? I always tell people, if you think that doing help for like spiritually working for other people, you're going to make money really easily, that's false. You're not. Okay? If you like paid sick days, if you like paid time off, if you like vacation time, paid vacations, if you like having vacations, throw that out the window. Okay? If you have this really strong thing about having boundaries, you won't have any. Toss that out the window. Okay? If you think that suddenly you're going to work for yourself, wrong. You're going to have the ministerios are going to be your boss, clients are going to be your boss, initiates are going to be your boss. You're going to have a whole bunch of people needing you for a whole bunch of stuff. Everybody's going to want you to be doing something for them. Okay? Absolutely. Um, so there's going to be all of that. So if like you think that by starting to help people, like things are going to go easier for you, wrong. Because you're helping people to deal with some of the worst times that they've dealt with in their life. So if you think you're going to have less problems, no, you may have less problems, but you're piling a whole bunch of other people's problems on you that you're going to need to be helping. Most people, and I don't say this in a negative way, but most people who have worked with me, I could honestly tell you, know very little about me as a person. Most people, even most of my initiates, they don't know anything about me as an individual. That's not what people are coming to me for. Most people don't know whatever it is like that I'm managing, handling, helping people with or myself. They don't know nothing about that. Shit. If I'm sick, most people never even know. And I've talked with Mambo Sandy about this before. Like, there's been whole ceremonies I've done, parties, huge parties, where I've been sick. And the Misterio doesn't care about that. And so in between, I'll go to the bathroom, throw up, wash my mouth, come back down, start dancing, singing, and running the party. Okay? So that's a big part of it. Another big part of it is if you think that this is for you, if you're going to have like a bunch of friends and a social club and all these people that understand you, that's false. You're not. Because if you're helping people, they're not looking to understand, they're seeking to be understood. They're not even going to take the time to understand you. Even God rested for a day, but throughout my time observing proper spiritual workers, being one myself, even God rested one day every week, but very few spiritual workers are ever given that chance. 7 days a week, any given moment, people are bombarding them with whatever's going on with them. That's normal. So this is not said to you like if you really have the calling to help, great. I'm all for it. Do your thing. But be very, very, very clear about what you're about to sign yourself up for. Be very clear about what you're getting yourself into. Be very clear that there will be days where the misterio is going to wake you up at 4 in the morning to go smoke a cigar for somebody in the altar and you haven't slept that much, and tomorrow morning you have people coming in for consultations at 8 a.m. Be very clear about that. And the misterio nor the people sitting at 8 a.m. for your consultations, none of them care that you were up at 4 in the morning. So let's be clear on that. Okay? Yeah, it, absolutely. It's not sweet. No, I've had people die in my family, okay? And people be irritated. People be irritated because now the focus can't be on them. I've been helping. I'll give you an example. I have someone who has a family member who's currently dying, and I've been helping that person in trying to make that transition for their relative as smoothly as possible. Okay? I've even mentioned this to some other people who are supposed to be a bit more spiritually developed. That has not stopped any of those other people from trying to dump on me everything that they have going on for them. Mind you, they're alive. They're fine. They're not in ill health. They can survive another week or two. But be considerate of another person? Why would they do that? You're talking crazy talk, Papa. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's not uncommon. It's not uncommon that if you're a brujo, there's gonna be days that if you're a brujo, you might go to sleep. 3 hours later, you're up because the misterio says, at midnight, you have to do esto y esto y esto lo otro. Um, Otra vez, like again, at 6, a las 6, when the sun comes up, tú tienes que ir a tal hacer esto y esto y esto, esto. You have to go to the altar and do this, that. Okay? And then a las 9, at 9 o'clock, so you were up at midnight, you're up at 6, you have to be ready at 9 because people are coming in to have their consultations. They don't care. And I've seen brujos work all day long without ever eating anything till 10, 11 o'clock at night. If you like regular meal breaks, brujeria is not for you. Okay? Yeah, people really do not care about their spiritual workers. In fact, just to make a small mention, right, is that there was a time where my own godmother, she came to visit me and she was like, she saw I was like just working, 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 and draining myself out. And my godmother pulled me aside, and my godmother said, "Listen, Hector, you need to start taking better care of yourself. Concern yourself with you. Take care of yourself first. Hell with everybody else. Because the moment that you are not around to help them, they'll just move on to the next priest or priestess. They do not care about you. They only care about what you can do for them. They only care that you are there for them. Okay? In fact, they do not know you. They do not care to know you. So take care of you first. And I think that's something that a lot of spiritual workers and a lot of people who are called on the path to help people need to hear. Because I see it all the time where people are being run raggedy by all the people needing from them. Okay? Much love to you too. Okay, someone says, can I give an example of rushed initiations and consequences? I've seen a lot. I've seen people go through rushed initiations, and as soon as they came back from the initiation, lost the job, lost the house, lost the family. I've seen people end up in jail as a result of a rushed initiation. In fact, it reminds me of this one particular case where they rushed their initiation, and then 2 weeks later, the dude was in jail. He was framed and ended up in jail. And all because like he took an initiation too soon, which he wasn't ready for. And he had nothing to do with anything he was framed for. He actually wasn't even around. Luckily, we got him out of jail. I've seen people, I have an initiate who went to jail for 12 years prior to ever meeting me because of an improper initiation. They were completely innocent. They spent 12 years in jail for something they didn't do at all. That was prior to them meeting me. I know someone else, okay, who was improperly initiated, and at the end of the initiation, because they weren't prepared, someone came with a misterio. And the misterio said, "You're so hungry for power. What are you willing to give up?" She said, "Whatever you want." He said, "Okay, I'll take a relative." And on the day after her initiation completed, her twin sister died. And that was a result of the initiation. Okay? And oh, that's true. From Lola, says here. Great on that 30. But this I want to make mention of because it's a very true fact. What Lola mentions here. People will act like they do care about the spiritual worker, but really they just want to see what they can get from you for free. That is a fact. It happens all the time. I see it happening all the time. Okay? I also see all the time where, people, hi love, people, you understand Google for everything else, but instead of Googling where you could get the answer to something that's not that serious, right? They'll sit there and kind of like harass a spiritual worker about it. So these are all things that you want to take into account. Now, I want to give you a heads up. I know last week my Wi-Fi was down, so it was some BS. You know how it goes. So this week, and I didn't get a chance last week to do it. This week, sometime, it's probably not going to be as late in the afternoon as this because I'm going to try to fit it in here. If you're on the group Sanse Espiritismo and the 21 divisions, I made a post about giving out some information about helping you to find like a home, a house of your dreams, a place where you want to live, right? So I do plan to do that live this week because a lot of people have that on their goal list. I think it's an awesome goal for 2024 to find a home where you really want to be at. And I want to get that information out to everyone. So I'm just going to conclude at that. I enjoy all of you. I thank all of you who came here and spent your time with me here today. I hope that this has enriched you or helped you in some type of way, especially if you're just starting on the path. I hope that this has helped you have a clear understanding of what to look out for, what to look for, etc. And even for those of you who have been on the path, maybe this will give you a greater understanding of the process that you already went through. Okay? And yes, Lola, it is. It's a public group. You do have to like ask for membership, but we pretty much approve everyone. So it is a public group. So, tag us or something and we can get you in there. So you're most welcome to everyone. Oh yeah, that's awesome getting to see you, Jonathan. Yes, Bonnie, we love that you have that. So the group is called Sanse Espiritismo y la 21 División. If anything, DM me, message me so I can give you the information to get on in there and we'll get you guys in there. All right? You're most welcome to everyone. It's been awesome being able to be here with you guys. And much love, Lola, G, and Michelle. Many blessings to you guys. I'll be doing this again next week, and hopefully sometime earlier in this week, we're going to go into that house thing. And even like, you're most welcome. Even like if you do have a home, but maybe you're looking for a business, that's going to be, you're looking for a business location. It has to be a physical location you're looking for. The live that I'm going to be giving later on this week will be helpful for you. And if you're maybe even looking to make some additions or remodeling to your home, we're going to give you some suggestions for that as well. All of you guys have a good night. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you. I want to thank each one of you. Lenny, Marie, Erica, Louise, Trip, Star, Priestess, Bonnie, Michelle, all of you. If I didn't mention you, don't think I forgot you. I thank you for being here. Much love always. Stay blessed.